Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name?
Elaine, Najma Carter.
Okay, and I've just taken pictures of you with your beautiful artwork. You've got 5 pieces with you here today, which I've got nice close-ups of, but maybe you could say a few words about each one of your pieces, starting with the 2 little ones, the 2 little square ones.
Sure. Well, these 2 are Journey Through Water 1 and 2, and they came out of this summer's, I would call it an awakening experience, where I really started to understand the healing properties of water.
Nice. Is that connected to Emoto's work?
Yes, I found Emoto's work. I studied that. I was also swimming in a lake every day. And I was so firsthand experiencing this really intimate relationship with water.
Nice.
And I was going through a lot of necessary healing from some traumatic events that had happened in the winter.
Okay.
And I was also stepping deeper into my mystical path, so I think all of those things coming together emitted these 2 pieces here. The one on the right being after the awakening, and the one on the left being kind of during the awakening.
Okay.
I call it an awakening because that's exactly what it was.
And the path being Sufism, or what? How would you characterize your path?
Sufism mixed with my own guidance. I guess Sufism. Yeah. Okay.
And then there's another one to the right of that with 3 birds. Can you speak about that one?
Yeah, that one is called the Matote, and it's actually also related to my journey through, or my walking through life on this mystical path that I'm on. This one has a lot to do with, or has to do with the nafs, or the ego, on the bottom. And then the top would be the release from that, so the fana, the birds representing, freedom, the grid representing the sacred geometric connection network that creates the universe and the cosmos and weaves us all together. So,
awesome.
That one.
Awesome. And then we've got 2 more. One looks somewhat whimsical in terms of its composure.
That one is Act 1, Scene 2. It's based on the creation story, but with its own twist. You can see it's kind of a play. I don't want to put too many words on it because it's supposed to be up to interpretation for the viewer. Honestly, It's a pretty deep piece, but I don't necessarily want to get too far into it.
Okay. And then the last one, which happens to be my personal favorite, is looks like a young woman at the bottom, and there's something going on up above.
Yeah, there's this one is about again, it's relating to my mystical path and the teachings that I bring from that. It's about longing to be in the love, longing to be. It was originally about a heartbreak, but then it turned into a longing for God, a longing for unity. So you see that she's under the water, she's in the nafs, she's in the first station, and then but she's inherently she contains the gold, inherently she contains the love, and in her heart you can see it's kind of bursting open, and there's above her in the sky there's a falcon, and he's carrying what's actually a cherry, but it's representative of the heart, representative of the unity. And then on the top there's also the patterns that reflect the sacred geometric composition of the universe and the fabric of the cosmos.
So it seems that sacred geometry is important to you. Like in this second piece here, we see some triangles and we see some pillars, and we see a door at the end, and we see many things, including Sufi scripture of some type.
The Wazifa?
Yeah.
Yeah, that piece is, you know, it's about the journey. It's about the journey to the light. It's, yes, I like to talk about sacred geometrics in my work, although I don't use them specifically as one would like draw them, because I'm basically not very good at it. I need to practice more. And I like to find the patterns inherent in other things and use those other things to suggest versus just kind of hitting you over the head with it.
Okay.
And I mean, that piece has a lot of symbolism in it, yeah.
I see the upward triangles, and I think of the male. Traditionally in the circles I've seen, upward triangle is male, downward triangle is female. Pillars are obviously male. Do you intentionally do that type of thing, or does it just sort of come forth?
Things just fall together often. Some of it is intentional, and then some of it is magic. I think that art is mostly magic, with some intent included. At least that's how I like to practice art. I like to practice it as a spiritual practice. Yeah, the shapes at times are intentional, but other times they're not. In that piece, it just came together that way, but it has a lot to do with where we're going as a consciousness as humans.
Where are we going as a consciousness as humans?
Love, unity, truth. Going back to truth.
So can you speak more?
I'd like to think that. That's how I feel, anyway.
Can you speak more about truth from a Sufi perspective in your path? Isn't it al-haq?
Al-haq. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to put it into words. I'm not so great at speaking about it. I'm better at writing about it or drawing about it or painting, but it's the knowingness. It's the one. It's the unification with bliss and the feeling of being at home in all things, in all moments. It's listening to the birds outside and sitting in the sunshine.
That's what we're doing right now.
Being in the present and soaking it up and appreciating. It's appreciation, actually. I learned that at one of the last retreats I was at, is that where there's appreciation, there's truth. Where there's appreciation, there is God. If you're not appreciating, then you're clearly not in the love.
Can you tell me more about this retreat? Where did you go?
I have a Sufi community that I attend or am a part of in Pennsylvania. It's the Shadalia Sufi Center East, and it's at the International Farm of Peace, and it's an awesome place. And my best friends and family actually run the Community Sustainable Agriculture program there, but then they have the retreat center as well, and people can go on these monthly retreats, which is the Gardens of Truth.
Okay.
Is the class that they have every month. It's 3 days, I think, 3 or 4 days. And then they have Sufi School, which is a week-long event where our teacher comes, and there's many, many classes that you can attend, and lots of good food and beautiful people, and it's fun.
And who's your teacher?
Sidi. And you know I can't say his whole name.
And did you ever have a conversation with him or meet him personally, one-on-one?
One time. Just once. I'm relatively new to this path. It's only been about 3 years, and I fought kicking and screaming for the first 2. So I'm just now like actually claiming it as reality, I guess, if you will. So I just met him in the fall.
And would you be willing to share about what you shared about with him?
Yeah, like I told you, the story that at the Hawa, everyone pulls a number and you're able to go up and ask him a question, and I wanted to know what my name meant. And so after thinking that I missed my turn because I was out wandering around under the stars doing my meditation, and I finally fell into line and got to speak with him, and he said, "Najma, the star, you are the light. You bring the light to the earth. You bring the light to the people." And I'm like, okay, cool, so like how do I do that? Which is hilarious to me because I realize that it's inherent in everything you do. You know, when you get a Sufi name, it's that you carry that quality with you, or you are in the walking and about that. And he also said that you know, the guiding star. And I've always found it really funny that I'm the light and the guiding star when for a lot of the last couple of years I've been bumbling around and trying to figure out where the hell I'm going. Totally lost. Completely lost. And I'm like, how am I the guiding star if I'm completely lost? But that's part of the walking. And I think I'm starting to figure that out now. Anyway, he told me that I needed to take care of myself, take care of my body, and he also told me that I bring the light through sacrifice, and I'm still trying to figure out what that means, because I don't think it's sacrifice through money. So that's a question that I still have. What is that sacrifice?
Okay.
Sacrifice has such a negative connotation, and I don't necessarily think it needs to. At least I hope not.
In the piece with the falcons, I forgot the name of it again, the blue one here?
The matote?
Yeah, how do you spell matote?
M-I-T-O-T-E. M-I-T-O-T-E. Yeah, it's a Mayan reference.
Oh, okay.
I believe. Is it Mayan? To the muck, to the illusion,
Okay.
to the world of the dunya.
You mentioned nafs on the bottom, which I understand to a limited degree. Can you speak more about fauna on the top?
The unification of self with the one, the source, with the death of the ego.
Okay, so if you would contrast the fauna on top with the nafs on the bottom, how would you characterize the struggle with nafs on the bottom?
Well, if you look really closely at that piece, you can see that there's a lot of faces in it. There's a lot of imagery. I actually use specific types of newspaper with specific kinds of imagery because I think it has an energetic presence. So the imagery is kind of like dark, and it's about all the voices in your head that keep you from your truth, that try to keep you down, that you know, tell you you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not strong enough, you're not sweet enough, or pretty enough, or you're never going to make it, you're never going to do it, why are you so stupid? All of those horrible voices that we listen to every day, every moment, that we work to clean so that we don't have to struggle with them anymore.
So what's the positive message you want to leave for our readers?
Don't give up. Keep walking, and learn to see the love in everything.
Thank you, Najma.